place to catch these students. How are you gonna know if somebody has a gun if you have no security measures to check these students, bro? When I was
But
going to
that's
school,
the
when
thing.
and no,
But
but think about it.
it's beyond students though. It's not only
That's what I'm
just students.
saying.
It's also the
It
people that
has
can
to be the
actually
adults to
legally
make
purchase
these.
a gun. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not
It's
even.
not only about. I'm not only talking about students that like that bring guns to school. I'm also talking about like people that also aren't students and are able to like legally buy a gun and go out to schools and go out to mass open areas and do such and such.
No, but all right,
That's what I'm
look,
talking about.
I understand the mass open areas, right? Because that's a more difficult thing to face. But I'm talking about like in the case of school shootings, the first step is literally a metal detector. Like if your school doesn't have a metal detector, you're doing bad in general. Because statistically, like if you have a metal detector, you can't come into school with a gun unless you just know how to. I don't know how to. I just
There's ways
don't.
you could do that.
I if
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
like,
just
yeah,
don't
you
know how.
Aluminum foil.
What?
Put it in a metal container for safe for lunch. Sometimes like, and then after you get accustomed to that
What do
student
you
with the
mean?
metal container, they could just be
No, don't you you
if
literally have to go through the security every day. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
even if
But
you
then
do,
like
there's no
niggas busting
way
into
a
schools just to
student.
shoot niggas.
Huh? Wait, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
You can also just still bust in and shoot the security, shoot school security. School security doesn't have armed guns.
That is very true. But I'm
they only
saying,
have tasers. That was the thing they were trying to petition about.
but
That's a horrible idea. That's a
that's a
horrible
different
idea.
factor because look at it now. Though those are people going to the school and going to the door and shooting. The based off of statistically what's going on, they're going inside the school and then performing the action. With the metal detectors, you're saying that's a new scenario. They can do it from the front door. That's a whole different scenario.
Oh
They
no,
do.
I would say that's what I was talking about.
Nah, yeah, I understand that, and that's I agree with that because then they have there's always another way around it. But I'm saying, and you can't subside the fact that we need to start change. Literally, why does only certain amount of schools have metal detectors? I think Hillcrest is one of the schools that have metal detectors, and
Yeah, I
that's on the
went,
app.
bro. I hate Bill Hillcrest, nigga. I gotta be with Hillcrest.
Was there any
Even with
shootings
Hillcrest, when
inside
they
of
have metal detector,
Hillcrest?
people still getting stabbed. They was getting stabbed still. I don't know if there was a shooting. I don't want to quote on. Don't quote me because if I do say
Yeah,
yeah,
there
I don't know.
was.
But
I
people
almost,
still getting stabbed
bro. Literally,
in
I
the
went there a couple
building
of days.
with metal
I literally,
detectors.
My
I
whole
went there
thing
a
is
couple of days ago. I almost got like stabbed. I kid you not, while working there because niggas found out. Like they found out. So my little brother plays D1 ball at John Brown. Already, it was clipped for me. It was already clipped for me at that moment. Because when niggas saw me, it's like, yo, bro, ain't your brother so and so? Huh? What you mean? Nah, I'm an only child. What you mean? I'm an only child. No, no, no. Isn't she in the picture? What? I love like we gang. But look, so appreciate it. Bro, them hallways are gigantic. I've never ran so fucking far in my life. God damn. Kids, fucking kids. Bro, I've
that's my
kids
all right.
almost
But look,
threatening
once
me.
you start with a metal detector, you have security in place. We have no security measures at all. There's no searching of book bags. There's no searching of the students themselves. And I don't care how invading of privacy you think it is. The, look at the stats, bro. I don't care about privacy no more, bro. People are dying, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to change the way we do things because of the statistics. Like we can't keep doing the same thing. That's the definition of insanity, bro. And expecting to change. Like it's just not gonna work.
But the thing is, it's like I feel like it's more of a money thing as well because they're looking at production of the metal detectors and then
Who
the
gives a
like
damn?
you
What
gotta
are we talking about
and you
money
gotta look
over
at it
lives
from
for? I'm
listen. Not
listening,
only
but I'm
that,
just
not
pointing
only
out
that.
that point. Like, what are we talking about money over lives for? But I'm listening. I'm listening.
You also gotta look at the whatchamacallit with it. Like I said, the school scheduling, right? So you got metal detectors now. You got a school that holds about like 2,000 or something kids, and now each 2,000 something kid has to only go through like 3 or 4 metal detectors. They gotta get there real early. So
Okay.
now, if it's for middle school and elementary, listen, for middle school and elementary schools, now the parents have to do things with their job. They have to either get the hours adjusted or get there
Your
early or
kid
whatever,
still
and
lives
now
another
trust this.
day. Okay, I get you. I hear you. I'm
No, no,
listening.
it's not. It's that's not what I'm getting at.
I
I'm
know, but
getting at you got to look
I'm
at how
pointing
it
to something
affects
else. I was just
everybody.
pointing to something. I understand it
But
affects
man, what's the
everybody, but
point?
so does life. Bro, why do we have to constantly go
Why
through
can't
a
I go through
funeral?
this door?
Why do we have to constantly go through a funeral service every time to make a change? You get what I'm saying? Like life. That affects everybody also. We all live here together. It's not like we're by ourselves. It's not one person by ourselves. No matter what, you're not by yourself. You feel, that's what I'm trying to get at. Yes, it affects everybody, but so does a kid being shot up in the school that he's supposed to be safe at. Think about that.
Wait, alright, gang. So, alright, I'm not
We
disagreeing
need to
with you.
take extreme measures for extreme actions. So, of course, it's going to affect everybody because people keep doing the things that's going to affect everybody. School shootings affect everybody, whether you were at that school or not. Think about that.
Gang, I do. I'm not. I can 100%. I do agree with you, but like I said before, I feel like it's still a bigger issue than just school shootings.
No,
Like
I
at the end of the
agree with that.
day,
We're just generalizing this conversation. I totally
yo,
agree with you.
Parents are
yo,
responsible too. Parents play a
yo,
huge role for
Of
allowing a child to
course.
have access to a firearm like that.
It's not
Like, look
even
at the like.
them though.
but
But listen,
but that's what I
it's
mean
like
though.
half and half because look, the fact that the firearm is in the crib is for a different reason. Like you said, um, like the scenario you just
Or the kid
described.
could have took it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was just
Wait,
about to
I'll
say.
see.
Like the access of it is because it's in the crib for safety reasons. Like the just a scenario you described earlier with the guy,
But I
he
feel
had
like
to back it out.
if your firearm is that open like that, just for your kid could just get it, then
That's your
that's
fault.
the
That
problem.
is
Yeah,
definitely
that's
your
the
But
fault.
problem.
see, my
That's the
elementary school had
responsibility
two
that he was
shootings.
talking about. That was the responsibility you
See,
were talking about.
like my elementary school had two shootings, right?
Hmm.
And the kid saying it's because his dad was a cop or whatever, he had the access to the gun, blah blah blah. And he was saying like it was easy for him to get the gun.
Right.
And we all was like, not like we all, but like looking. I wasn't saying we all because of course I'm a kid. I didn't understand the situation, but now looking back and I'm saying like yeah, like if it's that easy for the child to get the gun and do whatever it is he got, do whatever it is they could do, like get the gun and shoot in school. He
Hmm.
wasn't killing nobody or anything. He just shooting the gun in the staircase. And I'm saying back at it like, and they was saying like, yeah, it's the parents' fault because how is he able to get the gun? Blah blah blah.
Right.
It shouldn't be that simple. And like you gotta look at it as kids are kids.
That is
Even
very
though the
true.
parent
But
probably
why
has
are
a
we
hidden,
why are
kids are
we
kids. Like
why are we
we
making an
all know we
excuse?
find a way to get to something that we couldn't get it. It's not an excuse. It's It's life.
No,
It's logic.
I'm
The
saying,
I
parent.
Nick,
mean,
I'm saying the excuse is not doing anything about it and then saying kids are kids. That's
you're
my
doing.
that's my
They're
point.
doing things about it, but it's
Did your
hard.
school add
It's
a metal
hard, like
detector?
to
Did
like.
your school add a metal detector after those two
No,
situations?
they did not.
They didn't do anything
They did
about
not.
it. They didn't
That
do
was
anything
before.
about
That
it.
was way. But
But
when
that's
our
my
kid, that
point.
was
Look
way
how
before it
long
was
ago
common
that.
though.
No, but look
Wait,
how
hold
long
on.
Yeah.
ago that happened. But metal
Yo, if
detectors
I
been
can,
around for years, bro. What are we talking about? It's like metal detectors didn't just come out of nowhere. They've been around for years, and that's been a
if
way
I,
to to define. I mean, to like find certain things. It's all over the airport. You can't go out of this country with a gun, but you can go to a school with a gun. That's what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm
if
saying?
I may, if I may interject really
Yeah.
quick, like, nonetheless, like I said, like if at that point, if a child is able to obtain like their parents' firearm, I feel like that just plays into the role and plays into the idea that, like I said, like the issue more line just goes into gun safety. Like
That
it
is
should
very true.
be like if a parent like that is able to let their child be able to reach their firearm, generally they should not be able to obtain any firearm whatsoever.
But then
So
look,
that's
majority
what
of
I
the
mean
it's
when I
like it's
say
50-50. I understand what you're saying because remember, like I said earlier, some of the guns are illegal. So majority of them don't even be attained legally, and the others do. But then look, it's not only just the parents. You can't just blame them because remember, when you send your kid out of your household, who else is in charge of them? The police that's on the street, and the teachers that's in the school, and also
I
public
still
safety.
say cap on that. I see,
How?
because if we look at the UK, honestly, like with the UK significantly,
We live in an
the
entirely different environment than the UK.
not, I
People,
mean, well, in the sense, I'm talking about in the sense of more of like how stringent their gun laws are. Of course, I'm not gonna hold you, like their stabbing rate has increased, but at the end of the day, death count is significantly outweighs the U.S. when it comes to mass shootings.
hmm
So,
because
like I said,
but that's
at the
that
end of the
like
day,
what
you're
you're
placing a
making,
ban.
the point that you're making coincides with my point because there's nobody making a change. Part of the change is putting metal detectors in the schools and starting student searches. You literally need to do these things. I don't care about your privacy. I literally don't care. Once our lives are being taken, your privacy is out of the question, bro. It shouldn't be in the question right now because at this point in time, like you said, kids are kids, so they have access to the gun, whether it's legal or illegal. Blah blah blah. That's the parents' fault. Boom. They get the gun. Now they bring it to the school. Whose fault is it now? The kid, because the kid makes the action, but kids are kids. They don't know what they're doing until the action is done and they learn the consequence, right? But then who else is responsible for you in that said moment? Either public safety or the teacher, because they have to watch you. They're also witnesses of the action that you take. That's why I say they need to change the way they move because there's no way, you cannot leave this country with drugs or a weapon, but you can go inside of
They're doing something. Okay.
a public school with a weapon and drugs. That means like what are we talking about? And, like what I'm saying is they have too much security measures at an airport to leave this country than they have security measures for the next generation. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They need to up their security measures because the actions that they take. First of all, public safety not having a. There should not even be public safety. I don't even know what that means. Public safety doesn't do anything. Name one time public safety did something good in school besides breaking up a fight. Okay, yes, they're not supposed to have guns around students. I understand that, but look at the stats. All right, having a gun around a student is not even gonna help it. I'm not even trying to say we need police around schools. I'm just trying to say it would be better if they were because based off the stats right now, you need to do something. You need to at least demobilize them or like tase to de-escalate the situation. They don't even need guns. They need something to de-escalate the situation and so on and so forth. Because if you have a knife, the first thing you need to do is get that knife out of that person's hand. You need to be trained. Public safety is trained. I highly doubt they're trained.
Oh no, absolutely not. They're not trained.
I highly doubt they're trained. None of them motherfuckers are trained. I should not even see a fat cop on the force. That doesn't even make sense to me. When I see fat police,
Oh yeah, we have that talk all the time.
Like that just
Because
doesn't
they
make
don't
sense
start
to me.
off fat. It's just once
just
you
get-
in, like.
But then
in.
you should be automatically out, or you got to be put on a weight watch. That's it. You feel me? Like nobody takes
Weight
the
Watch
extra.
is hilarious.
Nobody takes the extra measures to make sure everything is in place. That's why things happen because they're able to happen. You get me?
But like I said, the people in control are not morally thing. Like I said earlier, the
That's
money.
That's the
look at the
conversation
money.
I'm talking about.
You said why
money
is money
should
over
not be
life,
over
and I'm
life.
saying like.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what we're all having the same conversation, but we're putting
May I
out
pose-
different points. That's all. We're all
May-
having the same conversation.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like, if anything, like at the end of the day, like we all do agree at one point, like something definitely has to change. Just more of just we all have like different avenues of going about it.
hmm
So if anything, I guess my so here's my question, right? So let's say, for example, you have a limited amount of funds. So essentially, when it comes to in terms of structure of dealing with this issue, what immediate solutions would come first and then come following after that?
Well,
Like, how would you rank?
the first one I came up with so far would obviously be the metal detectors. That's one. Second one would be bag searches. You can't literally like. First of all, your bag has so many compartments. So many.
Yeah,
Compartments.
legally they can't search your bag without suspicion. That's another
No,
thing that
but
holds
that's
them
the
back
thing.
from if a student
That's
has a
the
gun.
thing. That's the thing. Why is that a thing? Feel me? Like you're basically
Because you're
saying, no,
invading
listen.
privacy.
You see, that's what I was talking about. And privacy over lives is crazy to me. Like, statistically, privacy should not matter at this point because people don't care about other people. So why should I care about your privacy? That's my
Wait,
point.
wait,
The
hold
same.
on, hold on.
That's my
My question
point.
is with these searches, right? With these searches.
At least for the
So
school. Outside of school, that is a different situation. That's like stop and frisk, and we stopped that a long time ago. But yet police do it. But yeah, I'm listening to you. My fault.
no, I was gonna ask, like, when it comes to these searches and like checking bags and stuff, right? Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I am all for it to the extent of where like a kid has to have all their things being taken out in like during that bag in front of everyone. Because
That is
I
perfectly
understand.
fine. I don't care. In my
Wait,
opinion,
yeah,
I just
I'm
don't
not gonna
care.
hold you. Right, in your opinion, I understand why you don't care, but I also need that you necessarily also have to take into account the mental structure that goes into children as well.
But then that teaches
Because
them
G shit,
also. That teaches them something
not
also.
wait,
Be
no, it doesn't
be
though. Because hear me
aware.
out. 'Cause no, it's not even that. No, that's not what it teaches them. Because imagine when you're a child, we're like, remember, these are children. No matter how mature these kids are, we cannot infract like adult like mindsets on them.
These niggas
Like
is.
imagine being like a 16-year-old, 15-year-old. Say for
Yup.
example, you're diabetic, and like you have to have like certain insulin shots, and
What?
every single morning you gotta pull up to school, and niggas gotta pull out all your shit and all your medicines and all your bottles out, and everyone's watching you.
Bullying is
All
real.
the questions.
I
That's
understand that, but
exactly my
guess what?
point.
But guess what? You live another day, bro. Bullying is real, but you still live after you get bullied. I've been bullied before.
But
What the fuck are we talking about?
nah, but I
Like,
see
You gotta look at
have
the
been
kids who don't
bullied.
look at the.
I
But
understand
they
that,
see
but
the
then,
side.
but
I'm
what
sorry
do
to
we?
cut you off, but
No,
they
no, no,
see
no.
the side that people who don't live after the bullying. They see all sides. Like these are people
But
who
listen,
like they have to take account for all of that.
I understand that, and you're very right. I completely understand that because there's some people that can't handle it, and there's some people that can. But then there's nobody in this world that can handle a bullet or a knife. So what are we really talking about? That's what
That
my
also
point is.
promotes the bullet or the knife being used. You know,
Outside
nobody's
of
just
school,
gonna wake up
yes,
one day and
correct.
be like,
Yes, you're completely right. Outside of school, but it won't be used inside for sure. It just won't. It won't. It literally, it's impossible if you do the right things. If you perform these searches that I just explained, it will never happen inside of the school. It would never. Right or wrong.
uh, I agree. It will cut down. What
It
the?
would, yes, because remember, Sule did say it's a wider argument based like what we're having. Because remember, it can always happen outside. Somebody could stash it outside before they go in, because that's what people do. But you gotta
That's what people
understand.
did. I seen it in front of my face. They were
Exactly.
stashing everything in the
That's what
bushes,
I'm saying.
tasers,
That's
guns,
what I'm saying.
all that.
But you gotta understand. It
And
starts
some people
from
got it through.
somewhere. It starts from
Some
somewhere.
people got it through the detective. Cause you gotta understand,
Excuse me.
when the ones who are
You can get
bringing,
it through the detective, but you can't get it through a search. So I understand what you're saying,
they
but you
can't.
still have to
They're
go
not
through.
gonna sit there and search 20. They're not gonna sit there and search
Why not?
2,000 kids' bags,
Why
bro.
not?
They're not gonna. They can't.
That's the problem.
They
Nobody
can't, bro.
takes why, bro? Listen to me. You need to take
Yo, we in the rank with
extreme.
it, or are you trying to warm up
Yeah,
first?
no. I'm done. I'm good. You need to take extreme measures for extreme actions.
You heard
So
Sule?
why not? Sule left. He's back now.
Nah, Dwayne, your name has me fucking
You feel me?
weak.
Like,
No
you feel me,
way.
Sincere? You need to take extreme measures for
Jacking in.
extreme actions. What
Nah,
you're
I fuck with
talking
it.
about, Sincere, is based off the current law. And what Sule has been pointing out
What's her
is
name?
change of law. And
We
what
in the
I've
rank,
been
or you want to
saying
warm up?
is the same thing. We need to revolutionize
Oh,
the
give me a
law.
minute. Me.
Because, in general,
Excuse
something
me.
has to
Give me some
change.
more
What
food.
you're talking about is the thing that needs to change. The reason why people think it's okay to get through is because they have sense of privacy. Guess what? When you come here, you don't have privacy because you want to know why? You literally sit next to somebody less than 6 feet away from you. You literally have somebody
Oh,
in front of you less
fucking
than 6 feet
menace.
away from you. You literally have somebody
So you
right
saw, you
behind
see
you
Now,
less
the
than
sales
6 feet
talking
away
about the
from you.
bad shit?
You feel
You
me?
see the stars, nigga?
You have somebody
now,
literally
boom. Now
4
opens the
corners
door.
away from you because you're in a
What you picking,
classroom
gang?
full of students, full of other souls,
So what?
other
So what
bodies.
purse you picking?
But once you decide your privacy is over theirs,
Oh, the
I'm
thing.
fixing.
Oh,
you're in the
I already
wrong.
did my
And
ability
that's why
shit.
the law needs to change.
But I got the
That's
slippery
my point.
customer, the projectile shit.
Because there's people
For
in
Yeah, I
this
really
real.
world
didn't match
that
out first.
feels
That's
like,
me.
oh yeah,
No,
I can do
I
this
match right
because
now.
he did that. You feel
Uh,
me? Like it
see, you
doesn't
have
work like that.
projectile,
And
you
and guess
have
what?
time
The only
shit.
reason why it works like that is because of the law. The law says, yeah, I can't search your bag without suspicion. But guess what? If there's no
Yeah.
suspicion and you get away with it,
Fuck.
I mean, you do the action and now I
Yeah,
suspect you.
I,
It's
they
like
don't
putting
got
a
yeah.
any
camera.
match
A
really.
camera only catches what
But,
happens after. There's nobody watching a camera 24/7. You feel me? Who's gonna
but
sit there in front of
Yeah.
the surveillance 24/7 watching it? Unless you have that's your specific job. But a camera in school would only catch the school shooting after it happens or during the event, and
quick
that's not
question:
helping the situation. Is what
is
I'm
this
trying
a
to say.
long-term solution or short-term solution?
I feel like the
Checks
check-in.
and bag checks and metal detectors would be a long term solution if it's in every
Take it
school.
from when they was
Yeah,
infiltrating the
nah.
bag checks at those schools, bro. The parents is having issues saying like, yo,
No, that is how he's a fiend, bro.
Who gives a fuck about what the
like
parents
it
think? But
opens the
continue.
door. It
Hey,
opens
whoa,
the door
whoa,
for
whoa,
other problems,
hold
bro.
on.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's
at
all
that
I'm
point,
saying.
I understand what
Like,
you're
at that
saying,
point.
but then
These
guess
niggas
what?
play the game.
You get to live another day.
but then it's
Who
not. It doesn't. It
cares?
doesn't
Time is
solve.
like
It doesn't
seconds.
solve the main thing. It just solves the fact that people are just sitting there
No,
saying,
it
"Oh yeah,
solves a part of the main thing, but that's what I'm trying to say.
it's a temp." I feel like that's a temporary bandage, though.
It can't be a temp. It's only a
Waffle
listen.
gang.
It's you're literally suturing
Yo,
one of the
like, how do I
like. All right, think about
can't
it
get
like
out of
this,
that,
right?
bro? That's just
You're
27.
applying
Nah.
one of
Hello,
the
Dodgers?
stitches. School shootings is literally one of the stitches. If you can't fix school shootings, then that's an open stitch. What I'm saying is you need to apply the suture for it to be a stitch. And you can't do that, like, because remember, right? Like you said, it only opens up to
Come on,
other
he's gonna stop.
problems. The only other problem I see is,
I'm not.
um, the only result I see of applying a suture is for the skin to heal, and then the stitch falls out.
Damn, they really
You feel me?
missing my shit. God damn.
I don't know if you get that analogy.
Nah.
What I'm saying, because if you put
Oh,
certain measures
niggas want
in
me to
place,
fiend, bro? I
look
don't get
at
it.
what's going on right
Niggas
now.
want me to run down.
Only select schools have metal detectors, or
Okay,
only
Niggas want me
select
to
yeah.
run
schools are
down.
doing
Me,
bag
man.
search,
Yeah, run
and
that
those
shit back.
schools statistically don't
That's a fire band for
perform
Tom J. I can't lie.
those
That shit
negative
trippy.
or violent actions as much as other schools. You wonder why. The stats
But you
show
real
you. The
Wait, are
stats
the
we doing this
literally
about
stats.
show you.
stats or?
The stats
I'm
also
going
shows
the stat.
that
You have to
the
talk
school.
about stats. You literally
No, no,
have
no, I'm
to.
also saying the
No,
stats
I
also
was answering
shows the
Sule's
schools that
question.
have the stats that. But listen, this is a little, the schools that have the metal detectors and all that. They have more rates of more like violence cases as opposed to the ones who don't have the metal detectors.
And that's
Find
perfectly
you find
fine. Learn how to fight.
Do you find that crazy?
It's part of life.
I got
You're
I'm
gonna
talking about shootings and knives and all
I got
that,
Make
bro.
It
what do
Rain,
You
you
put
dog.
you said the schools that
Deadshot.
have it compared to the ones that don't.
yes, bro. And look at Queens itself, bro. Hillcrest has metal detectors, but that school had more
Hit a
stabbing
mother down.
incidents and all that as opposed from all the other schools
They
like
have metal detectors,
Well, Bound
but
had
did they do
detectors.
bag
Bound
search?
had detectors too. No, but like
That's what I'm
still
saying.
like
Now,
If
Brown is
back
fucking crazy. Fuck
you
Brown,
have to
honestly.
like I said, metal detectors is only step one. You literally have to do bag search or either
At
student
that point,
searches.
you want martial law in schools, bro. At that point, I ain't
It
fucking
is
with
what it is. What it is. You want to live?
Yeah, nah, martial.
You want to
At that
live?
point, I'm homeschooling.
You want to live, or you want to die? Which one you want? That's what
we
I'm trying
want
to
to
say.
live.
So is it
Because there's
biologic?
but what I'm trying to say is there's people in this world that will go over the extremes. I mean, not even the extremes, the current measures to make those extreme actions. So if you don't perform extreme actions to counteract those people, what are you gonna do? You're gonna perform a funeral service and then
So
say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Like that doesn't help the situation.
Oh
That's a
no, they really
temporary
they
band-aid.
tag teaming. That's what they're doing.
That what I just described is a temporary band-aid. Saying I'm so sorry, this should have never happened. Da 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 da. Let's put it on the news and then show the world that there was a school shooting. That's a temporary band-aid because that doesn't do anything. Name any extreme measures we've seen.
Hmm. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
the most I've seen was just metal detectors and the random searches, but that's only
But
once a
random
year.
searches is not gonna do
Oh,
anything.
that
You see
Damn.
what
easy
I'm
fuck.
saying? It's only once a year. That's not gonna do anything. We need extreme measures to counteract extreme actions, and that's what it is. It is what it is. Because if you decide you want to
Y'all
be that
can't do my
person,
town
who's gonna
though. Like
stop you?
what?
Who's gonna stop you? You is either you stop yourself or somebody else has to stop you, or
Damn.
or it happens. It's three roads to it. It's literally three ways to look at it, and there's no other way to look at it. If you look at it
Gee,
any other
God
way, you're trying
damn.
to find an excuse. Because yes, it causes
What?
people to be late to school. Yes,
No,
it
that's
causes
OD,
parents to
bro.
do extra things for their students. But you should. I mean, not students, for their children. But wouldn't you want to do extra things for your students? Your children to stay alive. Wouldn't you like? First of all, being late to school, you can work around that regardless. You can always work around that. If you can work with time, like calculations is a thing.
Nah, these niggas talk about dick. I need
You
help.
feel me? If you don't,
Slide
if you're
through.
not
Slide
aware of
through.
your
I'm dead.
situation, then you're gonna constantly repeat it. That's literally what. If you're not aware of your history, then it's gonna repeat itself. You feel me? That's what people. That's what's been going on. Nobody has been changing history. That's why it keeps repeating itself.
I just got mad projectiles going everywhere.
Something has to change, bro.
I look at
No,
it
not
from
Damn.
the
even
people.
something. Everything has to
Nah,
change.
they really. I'm not gonna hold you. They
Because
expect
if
this.
if it stays the same, then it's gonna stay the same. Everything has to change. That's what growth
Look,
is.
if
Literally.
that's the point, then we need to apply all extremes to all logics. If for that point, we need to just definitely toss in the back. But at that point, we may as well just like keep everyone encompassed in the bubble
We
because it's for
also
their
we
safety.
also said
No,
another
no,
a
not
solution is
necessarily.
online schooling. The new solution is online schooling. I'm not
Online
yet like
schooling
that.
doesn't do anything, bro. Because
No, but it is
I'm
though
gonna
for the
tell you
extreme.
why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because, like you said, there's different type of people in this world, bro. There's students that don't necessarily resonate with online schooling. They need the human interaction, bro. Technology is not gonna save this world, bro.
But they're closing it out
Morals
though.
will save.
Whether
Listen, bro.
or not it's saving it,
Technology
that's
doesn't
their
save
solution.
this world, bro. We relying on
Oh yes,
technology
I forgot
only
Rick.
pushes us back.
Rick is a fucking beast. I ain't gonna
Yes,
lie.
technology is here. It's
Working on
already
working on
here.
one
But
time.
relying on it only makes you weaker. You are a human at the end of the day. You relying on technology is only
Actually,
going to make you less human. That's AI. We don't want to be artificial intelligence. You don't want to learn more about artificial things than you know about the natural. That's what I'm trying to say. You're
but for
moving.
extreme times, call for extreme measures. If you're going by your logic, though.
That's not necessarily what I was saying, because putting people in their own homes so they don't be put in violent situations doesn't fix the situation. Putting people in safer scenarios around violent people gives them a better situation. The same thing for prison systems. They have CO guards. I'm Yeah, correctional officers. If anything breaks
I don't
off,
think you want to use jail, bro.
what do you mean? People die in jail all the time, but guess
Huh?
what? There's people that breaks it up before they die. There's certain, but you see how weapons get in jail all the time. But guess who helps them get it in? It's not. You got to look at it. There's a break in the system. You have to look at the system itself. If there's something
Hmm.
happening, that means there's somebody doing the action. So
That's what
for
I said earlier, though.
with the
Like,
parents,
all it takes is
yeah, I know.
for not with the parents. I was saying with the checking the bags and stuff. With the you said how could you get to pass the metal detectors? I said easy. Put it in metal containers, metal aluminum foil, and everything.
That's why you check
Boom.
your bag.
My scenario, now you check their bag, right? Now let's say you have that one kid that build a relationship with thing. Let's say you got somebody like
But
Cuba.
why are we
Remember,
building
Cuba's a cool dude.
relationships with security guards? Like,
Listen,
that's what I'm trying to
listen,
say.
but
You
that
know what
this
I think it is, bro?
it's gonna be a break in the system. People's not perfect. They're gonna be like, yo, bro, you always check my stuff, bro. I gotta get to class. I'm
But then
running late. I
that's
got a
the
test. I got this,
problem. That's the
and then boom,
problem. What you're
right there.
describing is a problem.
You know what it is that niggas is
But
ignoring? The people themselves, bro. Niggas gotta realize we have free will. Niggas gonna do what they want to, regardless of what
yes,
they
that's what I'm
play,
saying. Like
laws,
the
all that.
COVID
understand
showed
that.
What
That
we
is
really
very
need to
true.
start
online
is
schooling.
a better unison of our people and their consciousness.
Wait, say
Yeah,
that again. I didn't hear you.
I feel like that's the number one priority.
Wait. I didn't hear you.
That's what I would use funds for. To
This
push
shit.
to push the psychology shit. Philosophy. Cause once niggas hit the college, bro, philosophy, bro, niggas gonna tell you
Damn.
the way of the
Not
consciousness,
for the
bro.
man.
Niggas that's when niggas realize like, oh shit, like this is how I act.
But then you can only get those
This shit.
information if you survive.
Oh what?
You can only get that information if you survive. And then that's another break in the system because they don't give you that information until you reach a certain level.
because they don't want to corrupt young minds.
Corrupt
Cause
young minds, you're gonna
Yo,
have to learn it
Taz
listen, cause
regardless.
listen.
God.
What do you mean
Nah,
corrupt
but
young
that's
minds?
the
That's
problem.
shaping
That's
a
the
young
problem.
mind. You
That's
can't
the
say
problem. When
corrupt
you
a
have
young
a
mind. You have to shape a young mind. Whatever you learn in this world, you're bound to learn it
I'm on my
regardless.
dick.
That's what,
I
if
didn't
you
even know I was
believe
over
in
there.
faith, that's what faith is. Everything that happens to you is gonna happen to you regardless of your choice because it's gonna happen. You feel me? You just have to make the choice to do the right thing in said moment.
Do you
Damn.
real? But listen, but that's the reason why I say
That was
corrupt
my
young mind
man.
because they say like you don't want to when you have a kid, right? And you have a kid growing up, you see how like adults don't like to say certain things around kids or
Right.
teach certain kids things, even though when they get older they're
Damn, bro,
gonna
I swear
learn it
to damn, fuck.
regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
bro.
usually, if that kid already know what the said parent is talking about necessarily, example, it's because another kid in that school or class, whatever, told them. Let's say
Exactly. Yeah.
lust, for example,
Pretty sure this
sex.
nigga had to
Let's say
use the
sex, for
fucking.
example. A lot of
Oh
kids
yeah,
in
let's go.
school don't really know a lot of like lustful
Oh,
things
where
or
you just
sexual acts or whatever through
say
home or
that?
parents training. It's usually when they go to school with other
I'm not
kids
gonna hold
who
you. I'm still gonna stick with
who
Cardio.
parents is not doing their right thing or whatever case may be, or they just got brought up differently and they started sharing that knowledge to that kid. Boom. Now that kid is now prematurely learning about lustful acts and lustful sex and everything. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Now when they get
Ooh.
older, they're not properly introduced to it, so they're taking that from a
I
different
think there's
from
another
a different
character in
grasp
here, but they
viewpoint
removed
as
them.
opposed to the kid who wasn't
Dude,
introduced to
Julian,
it
good looks,
young,
bro. I
and when
really
they get to it
appreciate
early,
that.
they have a mature point of view from it and a better control and understanding grasp of it. Same thing with the violence thing. When you have that's why online schooling eliminates that because when you have a kid who you trying to like sit there and you be like, oh, everybody like you don't say certain things or whatever, you got to learn regardless, but you don't introduce that kid to that. Like you teach them
But
peace,
then,
let's have peace in the world. Listen,
all
you
right.
have peace in the world, blah blah blah, boom. This is what you want. Like this is a good
Yo, should
mindset and
I do the
everything, and that
marker or
child
should I do
agrees
like
with
the
that.
electric groove?
And then let's say you have a group of kids that's like
Dwayne.
that, and the same ones. Those group of kids will grow up and
Okay.
live and be a peaceful, have a better chance of maintaining that peaceful lifestyle and the love or type of respect, everything, as opposed to the kids who got introduced to otherwise while they was growing up and shaping their mind or everything because they was introduced to something different.
Right. But I.
That's why I say it's corruption because while a child is developing, you have to be careful what you're showing and introducing to that child
See, I
because it
understand
will
what you're
poison
saying,
the
but
mind.
now let me add something to you. This is what you described brings in the scenario choice leads to consequence. Because at the end of the day, you
Yo, man,
yourself
Taz is like
have the
cheese, bro.
choice. You're given the information, whether it's from your parent,
Alright, double stack.
a child that you know, you know what I'm saying, like
Jump out the
a
roof,
fellow
jump out the
peer
roof,
or so
jump
and
out the
so
roof.
forth, right? You as a person at the end of the day still have the choice
Ah, fuck.
to do what you want to do based off the information given.
Yo,
Seek and you
Taz,
shall find.
that fucking
That's one
spin.
thing, right? So I'm gonna say
Nah,
that.
the
But
spin
as a
and that
kid,
But
fucking
listen,
doesn't look at
but
it.
listen.
that
That's what I'm
fucking cloud
saying.
shit,
That
bro. I'm
choice
not
leads to
doing that.
consequence
Yeah, alright,
because
nah,
you
I got it.
learn
Fucking
from
see.
consequences.
Alright.
Once you now make
I
the
gonna hold you.
choice,
Focus
you have a
on.
consequence behind the
I
choice,
got Taz.
and now
I got
you
Taz.
learn
What?
from
Like,
it.
how do I just
That's
get stopped on
that's what
my
I mean
shit?
by shaping your mind because you, in order for you to know, you still have to do. You still have to be in said position. That's why
Oh my
school
god,
is
I'm on this
only
tab.
like
I
a
can't connect.
practice
Like,
because that's what homework is more of the action. You get me? Tests are more of the
Focus on
action.
Adi if
You
anything. I
in
got Taz.
school is only practicing. You from a teacher speaking it to you until you do it on a piece of paper
Okay.
and do the class work.
uh,
Doing the work, your choice leads to a consequence whether you get the question right or you get the question wrong. That's my point. You have to make said choice to face the consequences.
Good shit.
So if you need,
A
if
kid
you
is not
receive,
looking at it like that.
but that's what it is. Whether you look at it like that or not, it still is what it is. Because at the end of the day, anything you've done in your life, you're telling me you didn't have the choice to do it, whether you got the information or not. Whether you got where you got the information from, it's still your choice. So you can't make that excuse. You just have to hold them
what they don't
accountable.
know.
Yes, I understand
a child's
what you're
not gonna do what they
saying.
don't know.
I understand
A child who
what you're
doesn't
saying.
understand
But listen, but you're not
guns and all
listening.
that
You're
sort
not
of
listening.
accessible is
You're
not
not
gonna
listening.
want to shoot, as opposed when they get mad or whatever, gonna
But
want to
then
fight.
listen.
As opposed from a child who's introduced to guns and all that, and they be like, oh, you want to get mad? That's they're gonna be their
Listen,
result. That's why you
where
have
the
to be careful what
consequence.
you introduce to
That's where
kids.
the consequence comes from. Because guess what? The parent chose to bring the gun in the house, or whoever introduced the gun to that person. Not introduced, but allowed them to find that. That's still the parent's choice. Because all right, look now. Think about it like this: you have your gun in a compartment rather than a safe. You feel me? That's your choice. And then now you face the consequences of your child finding the gun in your compartment rather than a safe. Whose fault is that? I mean, who has to
You
face?
can't blame that
No.
100% on the.
What do you
like
mean?
Yes,
It's
the parent has
on
to
both.
live with that, but
It's
you
on
can't
both.
blame that.
It's on both. Everybody has to face the consequences of their choices. It is what it is. You can't look at it any other way. You looking at it any other way is being ignorant. Stop doing that.
It's not ignorant. You can't blame that on the parent.
What do you mean? The parent placed it there. So just because the child found it there, whose fault is that? Answer the question. Answer the question
if the weapon
first.
is
Answer the
concealed,
question first.
it's the child's fault.
No,
but
it's not. It is
You
not
have to
the
take
child's
the child
fault.
accountability, bro.
Bro, what are you talking about? You just told me the child's not going to do anything it doesn't know. The child doesn't know what that is. The child
If
only
the child
sees
doesn't
it.
know what it is, he's not gonna. Bro, if you do not introduce it to the child does not see it. Honestly, bro, the child's not gonna have no business going touching the gun, bro. If
What do you mean? That's literally the scenarios that children have been through. Children have picked up guns and shot themselves. Children have picked up the gun and shot their mother. There's scenarios. What are you talking about?
We're talking about the school and
I'm talking about everything.
I'm
I'm generalizing everything. I'm saying you have to face the consequences of your choices. Like I said, you didn't even answer the question. If you put the gun in a compartment rather than a safe, and your child finds that gun in that compartment rather than a safe and chooses to do whatever he does with it. Say the gun is still on safety and the child doesn't even get to do anything, right? God forbid. Let me knock on wood. But you get what I'm saying? They find the gun and then the parent arises and sees, oh my God, you have the gun. Here, don't touch this ever again. That's the consequence. Your child has now been introduced to the gun because of your poor decisions. You can't look at it any other way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm. That's like I understand what you're getting at. You're generalizing, but that wasn't the topic. We was talking about the school, bringing it to the school, and the child being introduced.
But
and
that's how they found it. They didn't buy the gun. Who bought the gun? Who brought the gun into the household? You can't blame anybody but the people that are involved. Everybody else that's not involved doesn't have to be involved because you have to face the what? The consequences to your choices. The parent brought the gun into the household. The parent decided to put it in that spot. And guess what? The child decided to go find it. You feel me? They didn't want to go find it. It wasn't their intent to find it. But then they ended up doing so. And guess what? If a child plays Call of Duty, he knows how a gun works. If the parent buys if the parent buys the child Call of Duty, he knows how a gun works. You get me?
Understand?
You see what I'm saying? I was playing Call of Duty since I was a jit.
Yeah.
But I didn't go pick up a gun. You feel me? Because there's no gun around me to go pick up. But if there was, I still know.
But if your dad had a gun, you wouldn't. If your parents had a gun and you did not know, they never introduced to you, you would not go around your house looking for a gun. Right or wrong?
It's not about what you're going around your house looking for because you're gonna go out.
No, answer that. If the parent never showed you the gun,
you didn't let me finish. You literally did not let me finish. You literally did not let me finish. You literally did not let me finish. I was saying it's not about you going looking for a gun because you're gonna. What I said earlier, you seek and you shall find. If you're looking, you're gonna find something. That's why I said if you look in said compartment, And you find the gun. I'm not saying the child wanted to go find the gun. I'm saying the child was looking and he so happened to find the gun because that's how it happens. It's literally, it's not like the child knew the gun was there majority of the time. You feel me? In the cases of the child did not knowing the gun was there and they found the gun, what did you think they did? They put it right back where they wanted it, and then time came when they needed to use it, they used it. Right or wrong?
Right.
Exactly. That's my whole point I've been making this whole time.
But
You
I'm
have to
saying
face
if
the
the child is
consequences
not-
of your choices. Yes, the child is accountable, and so is the parent, is what I've been saying. You
This
can't
shit.
you can't not say that the parent is not accountable, because guess what? The parent put that gun in that position for it to be found. You need to think extreme measures. You need to be like, oh, if I put this right here and my child can reach here, my child can physically reach this spot. Let me not put it right here. That's what I'm saying. You feel me?
What's wrong with what?
Put it somewhere out of reach.
Keep it real now.
Ah, damn. Good shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you allow these things to happen, and then it happens, don't be ignorant when it happens, because you allowed it to happen. It's like cooking. You have your child running around the house, but then your child is supposed to be free. You want him to learn, but then yet he runs into the kitchen and gets burned. Oh my God! Why did you do that? You go beat the child. Like, you feel me? Whose fault was that? Yours or the child's? The child was just living and learning like you wanted him to do. But yet you weren't aware enough of the situation. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, you have to be aware of everything, because at the end of the day, we all have choices, and you're gonna do what? You're gonna face the consequences of your choices, whether you make a right one or a wrong one. There's consequences. The word exists for a reason.
Ooh, newsstands unlocked.
You can't
No,
ignore that.
word, the parents nowadays don't be talking to their kids, bro. They just leave them, let them do whatever, man. Learn their own.
You can't
They
ignore
that's
that,
what I'm
bro.
saying.
Dumb shit.
And that's my argument about what you're exposing to the child.
But that's
That's
what I
my
just
argument.
said. But like, I agreed with you.
said,
I
but
agreed
you said
with
the
you.
child stumbled across with.
Y'all guys are
Damn.
arguing about having the same point. That's just funny.
No, but listen,
Yeah,
no.
that's
We weren't
how
even
it's
getting into an
like.
argument. We're trying to explain it. But listen, I agreed with you because I just stated another point. Yes, it's either the parent introduces them, like as in I say it's on their hip or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, like I say you grew up in a gang member family. Think about it like that. You feel me? What you think is happening next? You don't think you're gonna be either a gang member or a drug dealer? Unless
Yeah,
you
you're
make
gonna be one of them.
another
Head,
choice.
goddamn.
Unless you make another choice. That's what I'm trying to make. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You have to face the consequences of your choices. At the end of the day, it's your choice. Whether you got
It's unfair to the child.
No, it's not.
Morally.
No, it's not. How is
Morally,
it unfair?
It's
Explain
unfair
to me how
child
is it
morally,
unfair.
bro.
How,
You gotta,
explain to me how is it unfair?
because a kid is not gonna sit there and understand
Hit that
real
hard.
life things, bro.
But guess
as
who
a
does?
kid. But the parent is, but yes,
So
when
what?
the parent does, just because the
you
parent does
fucking
not
Lance.
make it,
It has to
whether
be
the
Lance
parent
is
doing their
hard,
job or not,
or-
is not fair to the
Nah,
kid.
fuck you.
What do you mean?
Like,
then?
it's
not-
forget the
bro,
parent, it's not fair to the
I'm
kid.
not
Not
understanding
everybody
your
is gifted.
statement. What do you mean fair?
Damn.
What fairness are we talking about? You gotta explain the statement more, because you're not making sense, bro.
It's not fair to the kid for everybody else to expect the child to understand a decision that they're about to make that can change their life
No,
or
you're not gonna
potentially
understand
change.
the decision until you face the consequences. Is what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. Of course you're not gonna understand because you have to make the choice first. That's literally what I've been saying the entire time, Sincere. Are you not listening?
But I'm saying it's not fair. Why did the child like you keep saying child make the choice, child make the choice? Like, damn, bro, like let
What do
the
you
child
mean?
at least like grow and experience.
They
Like the child don't
the
know nothing.
experience is the consequence. The experience is
God
making
damn.
the choice to the consequence. That's the experience. What are you saying right now? You're going in circles. You're not making sense, bro. You have
It's
to
the,
face.
you keep saying that like you're putting all the weight on the child.
I'm not
That's what
putting
you're
all
doing,
the
and
weight
I'm
on the
and
child.
I'm
No, I'm putting all the weight on where the weight belongs. If it goes on the child, it goes on the child. It's based off the scenario in play because I generalized it, right? So whether it's two adults or two children, whether think of it like a fight. Think of it like a fight, right? This kid, he's bullying me. So I feel like he needs to be punched because I don't want to be bullied anymore. Whose fault is that? Who's facing the consequences of those actions? You or anybody else? Nobody else but the people in this scenario are facing the consequences is what I'm trying to say. Yes, it's your fault. Because at the end of the day when you grow up, you're gonna realize that. Yes, you're a child now, but when you grow up, you're gonna be able to reflect. You cannot be ignorant to what happened. Yes, you're a child now, but you're gonna be an adult later. Don't be ignorant. Come on, that's ignorancy. Yes, you're a
So
child.
if there was a 10-year-old, at elementary school, went to school with a gun, boom, he was mad, he was being bullied, boom. He went home, grabbed his parents' gun. Well, he stumbled across his parents' gun.
Right.
He stumbled across the doing whatever.
Mhm.
He went and shot the bully in school, boom. Who was at fault?
Who's at fault? All right, you said he
The child's
stumbled.
at fault, correct?
Hold on. You said he stumbled across the gun. So first, the parent's at fault. Then the child's at fault. And then no. Second, the bully's at fault. Third, no. Actually, I'm wrong. The school is at fault because they didn't stop the bullying. Third, the bully's at fault. Fourth, the child is at fault for taking those actions. Everybody has a part to play. You cannot ignore that. All those people I just named are at fault. If you look at it any other way, then you're ignorant. That's all I see. I can't have a conversation with ignorant people. I just can't.
I wouldn't answer that because there was a lot of factors to that for you to say like
Everybody
you
is
to
at
like-
fault. I
That's the
literally
way
every person you described in the scenario is at fault. Every person you just described. I didn't leave anyone out. What are you talking about? I didn't leave anyone out because you guess what? Guess what? You have to face the consequences of your choices.
Damn.
It's as simple as that, bro.
Fucking terrorists.
I didn't leave anyone out. I included the school staff. I included the bully. I included the student himself, including the parents. What are we talking about? Or and the person? No, I forgot somebody. I forgot somebody. Whoever even provided the gun, he's at fault too.
I feel as though if the child was never introduced on what a gun is, well, not what a gun is, but never introduced on like the morality of killing and all that, blah blah blah. And
He don't. What if he
goes
didn't
and
know?
do it.
What if he didn't know there was no
Damn,
respawn
out of
button?
emotion.
What if he didn't know
Out
there
of-
was no respawn button? I'm like,
There's kids who did that, who imitate GTA and all that, but I'm saying like on a real, like a kid with more common sense, and like they didn't like have the morality aspect of it, cause like they was never taught about that, and they did it because they was mad or whatever and felt like it was
Right.
the right thing to do at that
so
point.
you're not
I
gonna
feel
hold
like
them
the child,
accountable to
the
their
child
actions.
is accountable. Yeah, child is accountable, but I would not throw all the weight on that child because it's
what do you
like,
mean? You have to teach them.
Hey,
How
Yes,
else-
you're
all the way
teaching-
on. No, yeah, I have to. Yeah, you have to put all the way on the child. Why not?
Like, what?
It's
Who's
he can
taking
put
the
the whole
weight?
action, why not
You're
put the
gonna
whole
go take
weight?
the weight? You
no, the
personally.
parent should take a big portion of that weight as well.
What? So now it's just the parent
parent
alone.
should take.
It's just the parent alone.
It's
So
not
the
just
parent.
that they take
It
a
could,
big
and the
portion.
child will still do
a
that.
big portion.
Exactly.
No,
Listen
no,
to
no,
what
no, no.
DT
I didn't
just
say
said.
in that scenario. Listen, I
No,
did not
DT,
say
you
that.
gotta
In the
go,
scenario,
bro.
I said in the scenario, I said the child was
Oh,
not
nice.
introduced on the morality of life and death. The child was not introduced to those factors. The child does not understand the value of life and blah 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 all that. He does not understand that when you shoot, you can kill in like one bullet. The child does not understand. The child just knows that this gun can hurt somebody. You know, my parents got it for protection. These kids are bullying me. I need to go and
the
I want to
stigma
go and
side.
teach him a lesson out
And
of
the stigma
vengeance.
side.
Boom. He don't talk to no adult, no nothing. He go gets the gun and do that. The parents should play a big responsibility. Like you cannot just, oh my gosh, my child did that, or your child
What do you?
check him.
No, look,
you
look.
as
See,
a
look.
parent have
You're
to take
all right,
accountability
look,
as
listen,
well.
listen. You're not listening to what I've been saying. I literally said the parent is at fault also. You are trying
A
to
big portion.
listen. You are trying to imbalance the scale, and that's what life is not about. Life is about balance. So once you decide to go put 10,000 pounds on one side of the scale and put 500 on this side, you're wrong. That's just not how it works. It just doesn't work like that. You feel me? That's not how life
Listen.
works. You trying to
can't
make
say
life.
that because-
Listen, bro. Listen, bro.
No.
You trying to make life work like
Your
that
office.
is being
But
ignorant.
your office.
You cannot
You can't
do
say
that.
that.
Bro, how can I
You-
not say that? It's about
Because-
balance. The child made the action himself, regardless of him knowing the other side of it. But guess what? Now he has to face consequences and learn it. But guess what? If he didn't know that side of it, whose fault is that? Also the parents' fault. It's still balanced out because there's always someone to blame. You still have to face
Yeah, the percentage
consequences.
doesn't matter. They're both sides to blame. The percentage
Exactly. There's no
doesn't matter.
percentage.
It is and it is.
It's balance. You have to be blamed. It's like, what do you want to like? What are you gonna say to that?
Yeah, because no one's gonna argue like, oh, yeah, he did that, but the parents were at fault. Both niggas are still at fault. Like at the end of the day, they're both facing consequences.
You still have to face the consequence of your actions at any action, because it is what it is. There's all right. Look at it like this. There's a saying, and you can't counteract the saying. Every action has a reaction. What are you gonna tell me after that? Because that's literally what I've been saying this whole
Yeah, I
time.
said wait for
You
me.
have to face the consequences of your actions. Every action has a reaction. It's the
And I'm
same
back.
thing. It's the same thing in different words. So what are you gonna tell me today?
Wait, I appreciate it.
We're going in circles here.
No.
No, you're
Violence.
going in a tornado, and I'm
Because
literally repeating
everything
myself.
everything I'm saying, like I hear you.
But you're not listening. Yes, I understand.
I'm gonna just
that.
repeat the same thing I'm saying. I'm gonna repeat the same thing I'm saying in a different way, and you're gonna keep doing the same thing you're doing, and like
No,
we're going in circles.
I'm not repeating in a different way. I'm saying it the same way I've been saying it the entire time because that's the only way
well
for
played.
it to be said. You have to face the consequences to your actions. You trying to imbalance the scale is not gonna make it better, bro, because it already happened and it needs somebody needs to be taught, somebody needs to be humbled, and so on and so forth. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's your job to teach your child these things. Yes, he doesn't know morals. But whose fault is it that he doesn't know morals? Parent, or the school system, or the people around him, because sometimes people don't have parents, they have mentors. There's always another side to it. So if you choose not to go that route, you have to face that. And then now you have to sit back and reflect. It's as simple as that.
You're not wrong. Like honestly, like not being sarcastic, not being ignorant, you're not wrong.
I appreciate
My son is
you
supposed to be
for
back.
agreeing with me. I think we should post this video on YouTube. It's been 52 minutes of this conversation. It's been a good conversation, not gonna lie. I think the world needs to know that there's other ways to live. You know what I'm saying? Violence is not the answer, guys. Oh, except that. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. He's wild. Play the video game if you want to get violent. That's what I'm saying. And just don't bring it into real life because there's a difference. Good.
Ah, damn, I should have got it with
Shit.
juice.
Oh, hold on. Haha.
Fuck me.
Hey. Oh God.
Let me be back. Let me get something. I'll be right back. Gotta go pee.
Yo, he's fiending. We. Oh.
Sorry, I saw the opportunity.
And you took it. Good shit. All right, so I'm gonna end the video for that because that's a 53-minute video, and I'm gonna. Oh, I just put the hand up at 333. You know what's up? Angel numbers.
I mean, shit. Y'all want to talk more?